Brad Sweezy, president of M4 Lawyers, marketing for lawyers. And today I want to talk to you about local services ads or Google screened ads and see how they can help you get some new clients for your law firm. You have a great law firm, everybody knows it, who works there at least knows it. Not everybody outside of the law firm knows that. So you want to find how you can maximize the number of new clients you get into your business, which is law in this sense. I know it's a profession. And I say that I went to law school in Georgetown, but for this purpose, I want you to think of your law firm as a business. All right. And so that'll help you analyze the situation a little more. We've been helping law firms for a long time and clients a long time doing this. I've been doing marketing PR for 30 years now this month. So we want to help you do that if you are so inclined, because we love helping law firms. I love connecting people who are looking for something with people who are offering something. That's what I enjoy doing. I'm not going to go through all of this, because you can pause it and you can look at the slide deck as well. But you pretty much want to help yourself by identifying who your prospective clients are, what are they actually using for search terms, et cetera, to pick your law firm or find out what your law firm does. First thing, you got to profile your audience. If you're selling, hamburgers, let's say, and you don't do Beyond Meat, you're selling hamburgers, you don't want to advertise for people who are vegetarians, right? So you got to profile your audience. Who's the best person, client type for your particular law firm? You got the passive prospects and you got the active prospects. The passive prospects are, maybe I need to work on my will one day, right? And I get these things, I'm going to work on it. The active prospect or searcher is going, all right, I need to get this will done in the next month or the next week. Okay, I've got something pressing that I need to get it done. So that's an active searcher, and that's who we want to focus on. This slide as an example of, let's say you're in Tucson, Arizona, and you're advertising by putting videos up on TikTok, et cetera. That is not necessarily going to get you in front of a person who's an active searcher. That's what we call brand awareness type of advertising on social media. Okay, you're getting people aware of what you do. But if I'm walking along a city street in Tucson in front of the city building or something like that, and I trip and fall and I break my arm or something like that, now I'm an active searcher, and we focus on active searchers. Okay, one of the best ways is obviously figure out your keywords, and the thing with keywords now is Google and its algorithm and this natural language processing, et cetera, is figuring out what is people really looking for when they type something in. So the exact keywords are important, but all the variations are important. Google wants to get people what they're looking for as quickly as possible. So do some, keywords, you can put a few in there. And the challenge with keywords, look, there's probably 150, 200 different variations of things. I mean, if you look at some of the AdWords campaigns, for example, we have done for clients, there might be 200, 300, 400 different variations of things. So you really want to focus on that thing. Now, a lot of SEO companies will say, look, we're going to get you page 1 on 4 or 5 specific terms. And I'm going to talk to you later about why that's not that important, and it's not as important as some of the other things. There's some questions you can look at to help you, do that. Know what your digital presence is. These are all the different things out there. Where's your website appear in search results? Who's appearing before and after? Is the person in your area where you practice law? Are they, like if you're in New York and I'm in Florida and I look for a state attorney, or I want somebody to do my will, maybe it'll help you to have somebody like me, but probably not. You want somebody in New York. And I'll talk this at the end. If you ever want a free session with me, we'll go over a bunch of those things, and you actually can take a look at some of those. And I can show you a tool that I use to go anywhere in this country and pretend that I'm searching from that specific spot. So that's important, because your search results are going to be different than other people's search results, depending on a multiple number of factors, including you, the searcher. So you want to dominate your local scene pretty much, right? I mean, that's important. So you got the organic route, which we talked about, and you got the paid route. Organic route, SEO, write blog posts, etc. They go on your page. The reality is, if you start looking at the analytics, and if you don't have Google Analytics on your websites, you should. But if you start looking at the analytics, you'll see very often a lot of these blog posts don't get any traffic at all, and some that do, they're meaningless. They might be 4 or 5 years old and have nothing to do with somebody looking, but they're on there. So that's why it's important to have somebody like us, for example, will go and go, look, let's look at the analytics, because if it's not working, don't do more of it. If you're paying people to write a blog for you and the blog isn't helping you substantially, then it's better off if you put your money somewhere else. Okay, so that's important. I'm not saying not to do these things, because you can use them to supplement. But if your interest is, I want people who are going to call my law firm today or tomorrow for this specific thing they're looking for, or it's relevant. I just took an Uber today. All right, I get in a car accident. Uber driver's at fault, whatever. Going on, I'm going to look. Okay, so you want to find those people who have that immediate need. So if you use your organic strategies, you're going to see where you come up in the search results. You're going to go below if they're local search ads, local services ads, below the ads, then there's going to be the map listings or Google business profiles, whatever you want to call them. Then there's the organic search results. So it's not very high up on the screen. And anyone can tell you, the lower you go, the less likely you're going to get contacted. So it's not as important for people who need immediate help from a lawyer. The paid route. For the longest time, Google Ads has been the big game in town. It still is the big game in town. Even if you do local services ads, you're probably going to do some Google Ads too, because they work. And the reality is, if you used Google AdWords a year ago and you did it yourself, you probably didn't do it right. But if you are doing Google Ads, you might have noticed that the costs are going up on a lot of things. And the reason why, more people are doing it, right? I mean, newspaper, I still get a printed newspaper. I think they're very effective for estate planners in areas where there's a lot of older people, because they still get the paper. My parents are in their 80s, they love the paper. So, but by and large, you're going to do something online. So if you use Google local services screened ads, basically when somebody searches like personal injury attorneys near me, they search it, and all of a sudden Google, out of how many lawyers have paid to be part of this, will show those 3 results on the top. Now, what they don't show is what exactly they focus on, right? I mean, it's like a glorified, remember the Yellow Pages listing in the past? It's kind of glorified like that. But what it does is it's on the top of the page. It gives that Google screen thing, so that makes people feel better. You see your reviews, and if they click on that and contact you, then you'll get charged. Which method should you use? Well, do everything that you can, possibly do. If it was my money, I wouldn't necessarily pay an SEO firm up front at all. I mean, SEO is so very difficult to do. And if you're a big company that has a nationwide law firm and you've got the money to pay on the SEO side, then it's worth it. But it's really shouldn't be the focus of your efforts. To implement the Google screen ads, the local services ads, it's pretty easy. You got to create an account, which is not always easy with Google, as you'll find. Or starting the account is very easy, but that's when it gets a little bit more complicated. You got to see if you're eligible for screened ads, and more than likely, if you're an attorney doing something business to consumer type of stuff, you will probably, see that you're eligible. But you're going to have a verified lead. You're going to have to verify your license to practice law in that state, and then you have to have a budget. And as you know from law, you've got to have a budget that's comparable to everything else you're doing, and you have to fund it adequately. If you don't fund it adequately, it's not going to necessarily help you. So now you target the prospects with Google screen ads, and it's almost the same similar step. You want to look for those relevant keywords, and then you want to have your ads showing, ads eligible to be shown in that 3-panel local screened ads. So maybe Google will have a little more later, but Google's very good, if you hadn't noticed, at figuring out how to charge people more money. And they generally deliver value, so you pay for it. That's why I talked about it. Google has a formula, but they want to make money, and they want to make money by getting people to use Google versus any other search engine, get them their results quickly, and find somebody that meets the bill. So let's look at the first thing. There's of the factors. One is how close your location is to the searcher. So if I'm on my phone or my computer, but more than likely I'm on my phone, and I search for a personal injury attorney near me, it's going to give more weight to the personal injury attorneys closer to me, right? That's going to be a part of their algorithm. So there's some strategies you can do with that that'll help you with the Google screened ads. Your review score and your reviews. You really, if you don't have a lot of reviews yet, you need to get more reviews. And we can go in any market and go, this is how many, let's say, elder law attorneys there are in this area. What's the average score for their review score, and how many reviews do they have on average? And so we can see, are you above and below the means or the medians or the averages? So if you're going to bump the needle of your thing on this factors, Google review scores are great, right? I mean, I have not seen an attorney. Well, no, I have seen attorneys that definitely have 1 or 2 stars. But for the most part, if you look at the average score of an attorney, and I just did one in a market, I think it was Tampa, the average score was 4.8. So, all right, you're probably going to be 4.8. You only have 2 or 3 reviews, et cetera, but going to be 4.8. So you want to focus on getting more reviews. Get more reviews, especially if your reviews is lower than the median or average review thing in your area, because people are going to look at it. The other factor is, and it's a very important factor, is you've got to be able to respond to people who contact your law firm. All right. And if they don't do that, if I spend all this money and then I dial the attorney and the attorney doesn't answer the phone, or a live person doesn't answering the phone, that's a problem, because Google's going to track all these things and go, all right, this is how many people contacted, how responsive are they, et cetera. So you really want to make sure you can answer the phone. And we have a system where we'll shotgun, if the phone number comes in, the lead, you can say, hey, I want 4 different phones to ring at once. I want it to go out. So everybody, whoever answers it first goes there. And look, we track everything. And I can tell you the number of law firms who advertise, but then fail to close the deal, it's beyond belief. And the number one reason is, maybe number 2, 1 and 2, depending on, is nobody answers the phone. So I'm the attorney, I paid to run this ad, I got somebody to call me, but nobody answers the phone. So you really have to answer the phone if you want to make this thing work. That's your part of the equation. We'll help you with every other part of it, but this is really an important thing that you need to do. Your office hours. If somebody's looking and they, maybe they can't sleep at night, and now they're looking for, I need to write a will, can't sleep, my life's drifting by, et cetera. You want to have, office hours. So if the office hours are 24/7, then okay, that's great. So if I call you at 3 a.m., is there a live person going to answer it? And if not, then you can tailor when your ads show. So, but you really want to be relevant to when they're looking. The 5th factor is, has Google received complaints? Obviously, if you get 100 different clients, you may have 1 complaint. That's not going to kill you. But if you only have 1 review, it's not going to help you. So Google will look at that before they accept you. Google wants to make sure you have a track record, and it's a good track record. So that's something you want to always pay attention to. Now, to succeed with Google Screen Ads is you basically need to rely on somebody to help you to do it well. Just like you can go on and go, it's LegalZoom or whatever it is. I'll just, LegalZoom, fill out this form, and all of a sudden I have a contract or something. you and I both know that that's often a recipe for disaster, because there's so many ways that a contract can be tailored, et cetera, to protect your interests. So it's the same thing with the, the Google screened ads and Google ads. If you try to do it yourself, you're just going to spend a lot more time and energy and not be happy with the results. It's kind of like my wife and I trying to remodel the bathroom by ourselves. Probably could happen, but it's never going to happen as good as a qualified, bathroom remodeler, contractor. So that's why we suggest you do that. My contact information is here. You should also get a hard copy, or you'll see where you can get a hard copy of these slides. So I want to talk to you a little bit. That's pretty much the Google screen ads, but like I said, the Google screen ads are one component of it. If you're doing Google AdWords, we focus on conversion rates, which is somebody contacting you via phone or filling out a form. That's our benchmark of success, the conversion rates, because everything else, it doesn't really matter as much. Do they call you? Do you answer the phone? Can you help them, etc. So here's one case. We've got a personal injury attorney. We've been doing Google AdWords for the past 2 years. This is the past 12 months. As you can see, it's about 12.82% conversion rate, which is actually very high when you consider the average conversion rate in the legal industry is 6.95%. So we converted for him at 84.4% higher than the average attorney. What does that mean? That means the same budget as somebody who is converting, let's say half, is going longer, is going further and helping him grow more than the average lawyer. This is DUI traffic law. This conversion rate's 10.48%. The average is 6.95. It's about 50% higher. Criminal law. I know a lot of people love criminal law. 11.84%. That's 65% higher conversion rate. So if you're interested in a consultation with me about this, about anything marketing related, etc., you can call me at the number 941-564-9163. Email me at brad@m4lawyers.com. If you're getting this slide deck, you can click on there and schedule an appointment that's convenient for you too. All righty. Well, thank you and have a good day. And hopefully you got some information out of this that was useful.